Guys, welcome back to the Match Chat Podcast. Paul Ciatto, Christopher Shay.
How's it going?
And producer extraordinaire Peter Oberk. I always forget to mention him. I'm going to make sure I don't do
Extraordinaire.
that. So I don't, do that for moving forward. So, guys, we're back to question and answers again. So we had such a great response and feedback from question and answers. So once again, the producer Peter is going to fire questions at us, and we're going to answer them to the best of our ability. So we're going to we'll let him fire away.
See what happens.
Okay, first question. Betty from Bloomfield. Betty from Bloomfield wants to know, Paul, how many hours a week do you spend in the gym on average?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I never really thought about it. So I'm.
Now, does that include working out? Does that include Brazilian jiu-jitsu? What does that include? Just him.
She just wants to know about his muscles. Like
Oh, the bumps. She wants to know about the bumps.
Yeah.
The bumps.
The bumps are a.
Hey, Betty's this stalker who's following you, Paul. Just so you know.
The bumps are a side effect of all the training inclusive. So it basically,
Your cardio gets done. Yeah.
I'm weight training, 4 to 5 times a week. I'm training jiu-jitsu, pretty much the same. I'm doing.
Are you still wackadoo at your house on your bike and stuff?
Wackadoo at the house.
Dude, I call him and I'm like, dude, what are you at the gym? You're huffing and puffing. He's like, no, downstairs in the basement. I'm riding the bike. I'm like, dude, really?
Yeah.
It's like 9 o'clock at night. Why aren't you just chilling out? He's like, I can't shut it off yet. I can't shut it off yet. I'm winding down.
That's it. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. So yeah, I'm gonna say that my trainings are like a full work week on top of a work week. So
now she wasn't asking about these bumps. She was just asking about his. Because I'm in the gym for like maybe 45 minutes.
Wait, that's another question.
I can't even get asked the question. You got to just interject.
Enough about me. Let's get back to me.
Strike one. Okay.
Well, for you, Chris, Joe from Jersey City wants to know, how do you look so good? What's your regimen like? Joe wants to know from Jersey City.
My regimen starts
Notice
off...
it's Joe from Jersey City.
Listen, old gay guys and 70-year-old women love me. I don't know what it is. Having said that, it starts off with some hair gel. You got to get yourself a nice, thick, heavy hair gel. If you get yourself a nice, sticky hair, and watch how I do it. I don't know what it's called. It's that Aussie one. It's in a yellow bottle. No, it's not. It's some German thing in a yellow bottle. It's glue. Put it in the hand. And hair glue. Give about that much. Shake it around, and then I go like this. Watch. I bring it back, and then forward, and then that. And I'm done. That's it. So I'll do it one more time in slow motion. Now it's this, and that. And it's done.
Joe is asking about your muscles.
Wait, no, you asked how I get looking this good. I'll tell you what it was.
Is that ego? Is that ego?
And that's positive ego because you see how you see this hair, which for the record I cut myself.
Since you're talking about your hair, who cut your hair?
I do.
You cut your own hair.
I cut my
hairdresser.
Dude, I literally have a massage therapist who has one of those cards so I can get into the real Cosmo professional places. Yeah. And I've bought good equipment. I cut my hair, I cut my kids' hair, and now my son Avery is taking over my position. He now cuts everyone's hair on his wrestling team at college, or not everyone, but...
Wait, you fucking Edward Scissorhands?
I can't help it. I mean, look at... I get my hair cut every single week. That's like 20 bills, dude. That's a lot of money. I don't got that type of money, so I cut my own, I save the money.
Do you have multiple personalities? I get my hair cut every single week with myself. Like...
I do myself cuts my hair. Yes, absolutely. It depends on who it is. Sometimes I give a little faux hawk, depending on what type of
do-it-yourself.
I'm a do-it-yourself type of guy.
He's basically a Floby. Remember the Floby?
I have professional stuff. I have edges. I have the whole thing. I've got a beard, a beard ninja. So it's like a thing you put down. I mean, dude, I don't mess around. It ain't easy looking this pretty.
I mean, I've noticed. And I've heard people say when they roll with you, your hair never gets messed up.
It never gets messed up. Or if it does, all joking aside, I'm a sweater. Not as bad as Besweat. But I am a sweater. Having said that, all I have to do at the end of a roll when I'm drenched and it's pouring off me is go like this, look. And it's done. The gel is still in. I mean, dude, it's like, look at this thing. Hello? I could take out a wall with it if I want to. Sometimes I'll use it as a weapon depending on where I'm going.
Next question. We'll be on hair roll.
Next question. All right, Chris. Next question is from...
Went from muscles to hair. I don't work out that way.
Well, the muscles is gluten free. I stopped eating gluten, which I've lost 20 pounds, and now it's just all there.
Thank you, Mr. Helper.
Very nice, very nice. All right, so Ken from Cantona wants to know, Paul, how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? And have you always been serious about it? And what are your goals?
God, I've been doing jiu-jitsu now. I'm going on 15 years.
Wow.
You know, it's close. You know, definitely over 14. Always been serious about it. Everything has changed in the sense of I'm more concerned with my students. I'm more concerned with getting them better. I do compete still. I feel it is my duty as a black belt to compete and continue to compete, whether that's once a year, 10 times a year, you know, and set an example for everyone around me. I have my own personal goals, and as long as I keep myself healthy, I will continue to do that, you know, and that's my goal.
And I hate to say that, this makes sense. You're an instructor now, so part of your journey has to be about everybody
I'm
else.
a competitor, but for me, it's, you know what, I would, if I'm an older, wiser bull now. If I didn't use my head and use my heart, I would compete every weekend, you know, but...
There's a wall right there. You want to run through it?
You know me, I will.
Actually, it depends on what's on the other side.
Exactly. No, I'll
Depends on what the
definitely
goal is on the
I'll
other
give it a
side.
good college try. Trust me, run right through it. So, yeah, so I'm definitely the competitor still. Just I'm the wiser competitor, you know. And jiu-jitsu is my passion. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for anything else but the camaraderie and what it did for me as a person. It's the greatest sport on the planet. And I
What do you mean? What it did for you as a person? I love that.
Just, you know.
Is it because for me it's my therapy? Is it your therapy too?
Not so much. I don't want to make this a jiu-jitsu conversation, but just it made me better.
Yeah.
That's the best way. We can talk that another time. I don't want to.
Okay.
I want to keep the questions coming.
Okay. So let's see, another question. This is from Johnny from Jacksonville.
I love the anonymity.
Yeah.
Johnny from Jacksonville wants to know about Chris Shay.
All right. What does he want to know? Just
Why
I was born in the Bronx,
Why
and,
he wants to know why you became a chiropractor, and do you
that's
enjoy
actually-
being a chiropractor?
There's a good answer to that.
yeah. All right. Yeah. Actually, I
I
got
know
a great
the
story. It's a funny story. When I was in undergrad, I was a political science English literature major, probably going to go to law school, and I was also in the military. So I had some military obligations I had to fulfill before I could go to the next level.
How'd you end up in the military?
ROTC scholarship.
Yeah, I had a scholarship. It helped me pay for college. It was one of the reasons. Plus, listen, when we grew up, we played with guns. So to watch Rambo, you know, was like, wow, this is great. I want to kill things and blow stuff up. That's just how I was raised. So going into the military just made sense. And I still wanted to blow things up and kill things. So I became an infantry officer. But while I was training, I got injured. I had a paralyzed right arm for about a year and a half. What ended up happening, I was doing rehab. I was down in Fort Benning, Georgia, doing rehab. I was there every single day for like 4 or 5 hours a day as they were trying to get my hand and arm to start working again. Bottom line was, it didn't. But while I was there, I had a life-altering moment. Because I was doing therapy for 5 hours a day, roughly, I was becoming very comfortable with the PT and the OT. I worked primarily with an occupational therapist. But with the PT and the OT, and then, you know, when you're in the military, it's one big family. I'm sitting there, I'm working with everybody, and I started doing volunteer Red Cross work in the hospital so I could start helping people and learn stuff. And I enjoyed the instant gratification. And that instant gratification was something I didn't know when I was political science English literature. I had interned down at the New York City Council in their legal division, and it was horrible. I was in a law office, library the entire time, finding precedents. I didn't see people, didn't talk to people. It was awful. And I'm like, oh, all right, this is just one of the steps I need to take to becoming a lawyer, and I'll do what I have to do.
You seem like a real people person. So
I got to be honest, I am. So when I started getting this instant gratification with the Red Cross work, I go, that's it. This is what I want to do. So I ended up going back, taking all the science courses to start learning about that. And then the funny thing was, I was just going to become like either a PT or an OT. Then a chiropractor adjusted me, and for the first time, I kind of moved my arm. I was able to wiggle my fingers, but I was able to move my arm. And I went, holy smokes, this is after a year and a half.
Of traditional PT.
Yeah. And I was like, this is what I'm doing. The rest is history. And guess what? Here's the best part about my job. I get to go to work in my pajamas and sneakers every day and be around people. And it's very, very gratifying and very rewarding, and I enjoy it a lot.
Okay, here's the next question. It's good to hear, Chris. Rick from Ridgefield. He wants to know, how do you guys feel about like performance enhancement supplements, things like that?
PEDs?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?
I think science has changed tremendously, and that I'm not an advocate for them for obviously youth and adolescence and and whatnot. But I think from a standpoint of I think the best way to put it is this: if you swallow the whole bottle of aspirin, you're dead. It's going to burn a hole in your stomach. You most likely will die. You'll bleed out. If you take a 10 cc bottle of testosterone and inject it, your BP may elevate a little bit. You may have a little water retention, but you're going to be just fine. So I know I'm being extreme and I'm being a little facetious at the same time, but you have to put it in the context. So I think from a standpoint of healthcare later on in life, I think HRT, hormone replacement therapy, is completely beneficial for male and female past the age of 35.
Bottom line is, when men go through andropause, no different than women go through menopause.
That's right.
And why is it that women don't get looked upon weird because they're getting hormones for when they're in menopause? Men are no different. Testosterone levels drop, and guess what? If you can do some type of replacement to help that.
The biggest part of it, so we can make it quick and move on, is that the right medical professional that's done it for 35 years, 40 years, that's all they've done. Not going to your internist and saying, here, let's replace this because it's missing. I'm a complete fan of that. I'm not a fan of PEDs in youth, for athletics, for high school, for that type. I'm just not a fan of it. I think from a healthcare standpoint, absolutely, as life dictates so.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with it even for athletes. I'd like to see football games like 300 to 20. I'd like to see people hitting home runs 500 yards out of the ballparks, So guess what? The Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa thing was awesome. It was fun watching, and those guys were two freaking steroid heads doing what they do. And I thought it brought some excitement to the game because those games are boring.
There's worse things that people could be doing, trust me.
100%.
So.
Just do it properly.
Science is different now.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next question. Daniela from Danbury. Daniela wants to know, this is to both of you guys, how do you guys feel about youth sports, and why is it very important?
Wow.
Youth sports are the most important thing right now, especially with the advent of the cell phone and the laptop and everything. It's the only thing that gets kids outside now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would be stationary, sitting on a couch, doing nothing, getting fat, and eating potato chips. For the record, there ain't nothing wrong with potato chips. But without youth sports, we have no feeder programs going into middle school and high school. And more importantly, college. What promotes the growth of those sporting events.
Just to add to what he says, I agree that youth sports in today's day and age is the last stand, because kids aren't doing what we did. I mean, we played outside all day from the minute the sun came up to the minute it went down, until our parents called us in, and we played in leagues and we did all sorts of sports and everything else. Because of the way where it's a technology-based society at this point, man, youth sports are the final frontier. It's the last. It's the last of Mohicans. It's really all that's left to get kids off the couch. So they're more important than ever. That's why it's even more important to have the proper coaches.
Yeah. I feel like they're under attack by
Youth
society.
sports?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a trophy for just showing up, all that kind of shit. You can't hurt people's feelings.
Well, that's the negative.
That's society, though. That's not youth sports.
Yeah.
That's society trying to put their new systems into youth sports.
But to Peter's
it's
point,
got to stop.
To Peter's point, it's infiltrated it. So.
Yeah, that's got to stop.
Trying to
Parents stay out of sports. Let the coaches do what they got to do. And guess what? Not everyone in life gets a trophy.
Nope. So bastardize something that you really shouldn't be. That shouldn't be. I mean, that's.
Get your kid ready for the real world, and guess what? He's not good at a certain sport. Try and find him something else that he is good at.
And a little side note: if the coach has kids on the team, get another team.
Yeah, I don't think fathers should be able to coach their own kids. If they're that interested in coaching, then awesome. I support it 100%. I've coached, but guess what? Go coach another team or another level, but don't coach your own kid.
You should not be allowed to coach at any level: youth, high school, collegiate. If your
it just
child,
breeds nepotism or the potential of.
If your child is on a team, I don't care what the sport is.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
That's a good point. So here's the next question. Nancy from New Rochelle. She says, both you guys are so politically offensive, I can't watch you because you upset me, but I can't turn off the channel. Why are you guys like that? You're a bunch of Neanderthals. When are you going to evolve and become more sensitive men?
Well, it's not going to happen. I mean, so we always said there's no political correctness on the show.
Yeah.
Period. If you don't like truth, then don't watch. If you don't want to be entertained, then don't watch. You know, if you don't want to see a perspective of some old school guys in the room, don't watch. So we're not going to.
Here's
evolve.
the other thing too.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of us Neanderthals out there, okay?
Yeah.
But guess what? We're just not. Our balls just aren't neutered.
That's it.
We're letting them hang
Yeah.
out for everybody to see.
Right.
That's the reality. If you don't like it, then don't watch. But it's almost like a car accident. You don't want to look, but like when
You can't help but
can't
look.
help but look. And hey, if that's the case, maybe you'll learn something. And maybe you'll see. You know what? We're really not that much of Neanderthals. I think if you ask our wives, last time I carried my wife by her hair over my back, well, that was something totally different.
Was never.
Maybe I was never.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. The reality is this: there's a bunch of men out there, and I think they're just afraid to express what
Well,
they really feel
they're not
because
really like
they're
us.
afraid by society.
Yeah.
And
Look, trust me, we are the
if we're a dying breed, then we're a dying breed. And guess what? I'm going to die this way because this is how I was raised. And I think my parents did a good job raising me. I think your parents did a good job raising you. And guess what? They were Neanderthals also.
So we are not the unsilent majority.
That's correct.
You know, we are the unsilent majority. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Okay, that was a good one, guys. You ready for the next one?
Sure.
So, Winona from White Plains has a question for both of you guys. She wants to start with Paul. Paul, do you ever go grocery shopping for your wife?
No. I don't. Will I go? Do I go out and get stuff if she asks me to? Like in particular, yeah. If she's traveling and I'm, with my daughter for her cheer, yeah, I'll go buy stuff. But no, I do not.
See, I feel like that's a loaded question. She's
Yeah.
trying to set us up because she knows that we probably don't go grocery
know.
shopping. And the reason we don't go grocery shopping is because we're at work all day. And if I went grocery shopping, it would just put me back even. And I got to be honest, I don't know where anything is. Our wives go grocery shopping because, listen, we have a job outside of the house. They have jobs inside of the house. And part of that job description is doing most of the grocery shopping. But if my wife says to me, Chris, can you go pick up X, Y, and Z?
Right.
Just like he said, of course I'm going to do it. We're not Neanderthals.
I guess your wives don't watch the show, huh?
They can watch it, but we're
watch it.
telling the truth.
Yeah.
You know?
Our wives will tell you straight up. They're doing it because that's part of one of their job descriptions amongst everything else that they do in helping to create and raise the family. Part of our job's description is working outside the house, making money to help provide.
Yeah. No,
And guess what? If my wife needs to provide, she goes outside of the house and helps. And then guess what I do? When I get home, I'm like, all right, instead of just sitting there eating my food and relaxing, I'll help with the dishes. I'll help do what I got to do because that's how you survive. That's how you adapt as a family.
I don't do any dishes. I don't do that shit.
There's no truth to the rumor that you wear an apron around the house, Paul?
Absolutely not. No way.
I'll wear an apron only because it looks good on me, though.
Next question.
That's funny. Okay, next question. This is from Gina from Greenwich. Gina from Greenwich wants to know, how do you guys feel when you train and roll with women?
Very respectful. Very respectful. I have to be very respectful. They're allowed to do whatever they want to me. And I mean that. I always tell them, kill me, attack me, make believe you're fighting for your life, and my job is to absorb it and take it. And just give enough. Give enough so that I'm helping them. And I'm very protective of the women that train with us. I'm very I'm territorial about the women that train with us and our students.
I've peed on a couple just to show the territorial stuff. No, just
strike two. Okay.
I treat them like anybody else.
This is serious, man.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to the girls, I'm very territorial. I don't like that. I don't like when other people is training with our students, if they're from other places and whatnot, I make it very clear those are daughters. So mind your P's and Q's when you're rolling with them.
I treat them like anybody else, but I'm respectful of them.
Listen, like Alex Blue, who's our student, she's
You better treat her like a freak and anybody else, or she's going to kick your ass.
I'm saying,
let's be honest.
on a serious point, that's who you turn her up for.
Yeah.
Because she's trained to be a professional fighter.
Yeah.
So, but even with that, it's with the utmost respect. That's old school.
If you're a female out there and you're thinking about training jiu-jitsu, it's good for so many different reasons. And here's the thing: you don't got to worry about coming in here and getting groped. That's not how it works. You're completely covered. You have a gi, and
if someone gropes you, they're gonna get their fucking teeth knocked out by me. So that's basically what's gonna happen.
So that's not what happens. You know, it's straight.
There won't be any pajama wrestling. You're gonna get your ass whooped, and I'm gonna grab you by the seat of your pants and the back of your head and throw you out of my facility after you took a beat. Period.
And I'm pretty sure the other guys in here are
gonna
beat you up
probably wouldn't be
on your way out.
It wouldn't be a single beat down.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, next question. Bobby B from Brewster. It's a local guy. He wants to know, what's your favorite mafia movie of all time? Your Italian mafia movie of all time. And you only can pick one.
Let me go first, because you got so many. I'm just going to go Goodfellas right off the bat and just end it there. Because you're probably going to go with that too.
Listen, I'm not.
Oh, good.
I'm going with the Godfather series.
The series, you got to pick one. 3 doesn't even really count. 3 doesn't even count.
No, well, it is. It's a series because it's telling us. It's a continuous
you
story.
say 1 and 2, I go, okay, fine, I got you.
1 and 2 won all the Academy Awards.
Yeah, you say 1 and 2, I got you.
Listen,
You say 3,
I'm going to watch 3 because it's part of the story. Who the fuck are you to say what it is? Are you Francis Ford Coppola all of a sudden? I mean, we're serious.
3 was
whatever. It's the story. Okay, him dying in.
So if I ask you, so here's my question. And I ask you, which Rocky you going with? You're going to say the series?
No.
Exactly.
But it's different.
It's not different. 5 doesn't even fucking count.
I mean, 5 doesn't count. Well, Rocky, it's the best one.
No. I'm talking about with when Rocky was teaching his son when he was going against.
Rocky Balboa is my
I'm
favorite.
not talking Rocky Balboa. I'm talking with I don't even watch it. So
let me handle the Rocky. So what you're talking about is Rocky 5, where he loses all his money and ends up back in Philadelphia.
No,
which is the worst
No,
one.
that's not the one where he's.
Yes, that's it.
Tommy the Gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, I'm right again.
I said 5 though. I said 5.
Rocky Balboa is the last one. That's the best one. 3 and Rocky 3,
4,
and Balboa are my favorites.
And 4 is in there too.
I'm not all right. That's for you.
Yeah, I like 4.
I like 3.
I like 3 and 4.
Clubber Lang, the shit talking.
Yeah.
I like
3 is my favorite, but I like 4
3
almost as
and
much.
Rocky Balboa.
Anytime we can beat up on the Russians, it was a good thing at that time. So I was happy about that.
Yeah. The 5th one was the most horrible one.
That's what I said. When you consider Rockies, you don't even include that one.
Listen, there's one scene in that movie I like when he sees Mick and they're reminiscing and he's giving him the cufflink. That's the best scene in the movie. So, but other than that, it's for shit.
So, do you guys have any lines off the top of your head from Godfather movies or those movies that you could quote, like, real quick?
I like just the Rocky 3. There's so many from the Godfather, but like
Rocky
3 is the best. I'm my favorite's Clubber Lang when they're interviewing him. And he goes, Clubber, what are your feelings on a rematch with Rocky Balboa? He's like, I'll accept the challenge because Balboa is no challenge, but I'm more than glad to beat up on him some more. And I crack up every time I see that, and it's because he just, Mr. T played such a character.
He really played a good. That
unbelievable.
He was good on the A team,
Hulk
but
Hogan,
he was really good during
Hulk Hogan. It's all fake, meatball. It's all fake, and he's just giving him an ass.
Killing him.
He's killing him. And let me tell you, to Sylvester Stallone's credit, he did all those moves. That's all real. Yeah. People think pro wrestling's fake. It's not. It may be staged, but that shit's not fake.
They're getting hurt.
They're getting thrown around like that. So.
Okay, Nancy from New Fairfield has a question for you.
Ooh.
She wants to know, why do you guys always pick on New Fairfield?
That's a fair question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
No, it's a fair question.
Here's the thing. It's not that we're picking on New Fairfield. Unfortunately, we live in New Fairfield. So we've had
Unfortunately?
So we've had exposure to some of the silliness that goes on. I'm pretty sure if we lived in Brookfield, if we lived in Ridgefield, if we lived in New Milford, we would be picking on them because there's problems in every aspect of a certain town. I just feel like New Fairfield.
Concentration.
New Fairfield, we like to consider New Fairfield as the
witness protection program for assholes.
Yeah. They all seem to congregate there.
Seems like everyone from everywhere.
And guess what? We're part of that witness protection program because we're assholes too.
Yeah.
But it just seems like, hey, when you live in a town, you're able to find out more things about it that you don't like. So
and the people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, listen, we live there, we sleep there.
Yeah.
I don't, even from the day that I moved there, you experience things and people, and they're just not good. I mean, I can say there's a handful, that are good.
Some of the things I've gone through recently, I've seen some
Yeah,
people
no.
from New Fairfield step up to the plate,
Yeah, but
without a doubt,
at the same
and
time,
blessings to them.
It's the same. It's the same people that always step up, though.
Yeah,
That's my point.
yeah.
You know, there was no surprises there. That's my point. You know, but I mean, he kind of hit the nail on the head. There's nothing really much more to extrapolate on. We could do a whole episode going off on that.
Well, how'd you
on that
end up there? I mean, someone said, "Oh, move to New Fairfield. It's a great
Yeah,
place to
a
live."
friend of ours, you know, guy used to be a friend, I should say. You know, was in real estate and you know said, the taxes are better, and you know you're gonna
School systems are
school
good,
systems, and you know,
which they are. Hey,
well, not anymore. But if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't move. I wouldn't have, if I knew what the schools were now that I know now, I wouldn't have moved there. And really, that's why I went there. It was more or less because either I pay $19,000 a year in taxes for new construction in Putnam County, or I go there and pay $6,000. I mean, that's kind of
no-brainer.
It was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah,
it was
no-brainer.
It was a business decision, you know.
Okay, to wrap this up, guys, there's one more question, and this is to both of you. It's from Charlie from Chattanooga. Charlie wants to know. We've got someone from Tennessee watching us. It's amazing. I can't
great.
believe it.
Yeah.
Jason Parrish.
That's
right.
right.
The
that's
net
right.
page of this.
Yeah, that was great for the record. I love it, Jason.
You're the best.
So the question is, real quick, each of you guys, a minute each for each of you guys. What advice would you give a young person today to be successful and to make it survive in life?
Go ahead, Chris.
Perseverance. That's the bottom line. Don't give up when the cards go down. When you have a hiccup, you got to turn lemons into lemonade. I'm going through it right now. It stands true when you're young. You just put your chin down and you just keep driving forward. And if you do that, you'll be successful. You may not get exactly where you want when you want to get there, but if you just keep putting your best foot forward, you'll end up where you want to be at the end.
Discipline, focus. Discipline, focus. Discipline, focus. That's the recipe. You have to shut everything else out. Don't hurt anybody around. Don't hurt anybody on the way. Some people may get hurt because they don't understand that discipline and focus. But follow those two rules. And just to finish what he said, chin down, head up, move forward. That's the recipe.
Well, you guys seem like you'd make good neighbors to me. Your lawns are very nice, your yards are manicured, you throw great parties.
You do throw good parties.
So I don't know what the problem is, but I'd be happy to live next to you. But anyway.
Guys, we're going to wrap it up. The Match App Podcast, Paul Ciatto, Christopher Shay.
Thanks for listening.
Producer extraordinaire, Peter Oberg. We will catch you guys next time. Always thank you for listening and watching.